right, we are going to draw a monster today because we are looking at scary themes. Now, I got to admit, the creature that I'm going to be drawing today isn't really that scary. But, of course, as usual, we need to start off with that round shape. And you all know about how to make that round shape. And it's really important that you use your arm and your elbow. And you be confident. Be confident with your motor skills. Be confident with how you make that circle. Sometimes it's okay to warm up ahead of time. I will sometimes, over in the corner of my page, practice drawing circles. Sometimes I will do bigger circles. I will practice drawing smaller circles. And by drawing circles, what you're doing is you are getting your pencil ready, because sometimes having your pencil carved out helps as well. You just can't change your grip when you are drawing. Okay, so we're drawing a monster. And the monster we are creating is going to be a goofy looking silly monster. And it's based on an artist whose name is Chris Reiniaks. And he's got some really cool ideas. And so I'm going to adapt his drawing and make this monster slightly different, but we're going to use the similar cute, cuddly ideas. And I know some of us might not like cute and cuddly. And you can certainly make this a little scarier than what I'm drawing. But it's always nice and safe to draw fun, creative, cute characters because it appeals to your younger audience. Okay, so this is the basic shape I want you to be looking at. And you can see by drawing basic shapes, it really helps you get all the details organized nicely in your drawing. So hopefully by now, I'm just playing around and kind of cleaning it up a little bit, but hopefully by now you have got your basic shape and we are ready to kind of get into the detail of our character. So you can tell that our character is on a 3/4 view and it's facing this direction. Even my arrow is somewhat of a 3/4 view. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off with its eyes. We're doing the eyes because there is no nose. Okay? So let's draw using just our fingers and our wrists one of the eyes. And hopefully by now you're getting better at drawing circles. If you were ever to practice, not that it's the most fun thing to do, drawing circles really helps you with your fine motor skills. It really helps you get good control with your hands and your fingers. All right, so there is one of the eyes. The other eye is going to be on the other side. So what I'm going to do is, did you see what I did there? I flattened the circle and gave room for where the other eye is going to go. So the other eye is going to fit nicely just in here. So it bulges out slightly. And there's going to be a slight variation to what the original artist has done here, and we're going to play around with what we can make the middle of the eye look like. So let's try something. Let's try the typical human iris pupil approach. So with this eye, we've got the iris, and we can do that on the other side here as well. And then what we can do is we can darken that one area. And as you have now experienced and hopefully gotten better at, we can establish a reflection. This time I'm making 2 reflections. Okay, so there's our eye, the eye of our character. Now what I want to do is I want to get a nice looking mouth in here. So this is where I'm inspired by this artist. I'm going to make this mouth quite large. It's going to come way out. And I've drawn actually a monster similar to this in the past, similar style. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this mouth out, and it's going to come way down, and it's kind of like a chin here. Let me establish where the chin is. Right down here is the chin. And we know from drawing our human characters that the chin is attached to the jaw. So one thing I love about drawing monsters is we can exaggerate. Just like that one character that we drew, where it was that funny looking man. But with this character, likely it will need to have a jaw. So the jaw would probably come out like that. Does that make sense so far, hopefully? So there's the jaw of our character. And we can give the character a lip. And we've practiced drawing these funny looking lips when we did that man, right? So again, you'll see that there's kind of a slight connection with some of the drawings that we do. So with this guy, we've got a chin that comes out. All right, and we can play around with its you know, the details, the fur, all that stuff. We could put a couple teeth in here. Let's put a tooth right there just for now, just for fun. So we'll put a tooth in there. Maybe another tooth here. So already we've established that this character isn't that scary because the teeth aren't sharp teeth. Make sense? Maybe we can have another one on the other side like that, coming down. So you can see right away that we're establishing that the character isn't all that scary. Okay. Which I know some of you might want to do one day, draw a more scary character. So let's move into the body. So with the body, we need to, and if I want you to think about some of the other characters we've drawn. We drew a dragon once, a baby dragon. And the baby dragon had little legs like this that folded over. So this would be the kneecap. Do you remember when we drew that dragon? And even the elephant from a long time ago, we had the legs kind of bend outwards like this. Does this ring a bell? Do you remember this? And what we can do is we can be creative here. We can have some fur that maybe comes out. Now this is a little bit different than the original drawing. But again, you know, a lot of the pictures that we create are usually from an inspiration, from somebody out there who we are inspired by, right? So let's give some little toes. There we go. And maybe we can have a foot on the other side. And again, some fur. And so you'll notice that this is somewhat of a similar pose to that dragon that we drew. All right. And we need the toes in there as well, right? Now I could put claws. In fact, if you guys wanted to, you could add claws to the character. Make the character look a little bit scarier. Totally up to you. All right, what a funny looking, sluggish looking, toad-like creature. All right, now what I like about what the artist did here is had the arm. So have a look, the arm is leaning on the knees, right? So this would be the elbow that I'm highlighting right here, this area right here where you see the movement. That would be the elbow, and the arm bends, and we have these little fingers that overlap. So these little fingers are the creature's fingers. Now we could add that hair again. So we can have some fur. Shows that the character is kind of like hairy. And then the other leg would also have the hand. We just won't see it as much. Right? So far we got this little creature that's sitting down. Don't know what it's sitting on. We might have to adjust its bum though. So we might need to make this flatter. So let's do that. Let's make the bum or the back side become a little bit flatter. So see what I've done there? I've now made it so it looks like the character is sitting more in a more structured, secure way. Okay. We could add a little tail to our little creature. Don't know really what tail this, looks like. Maybe a horse's tail, or I'm not too sure. And I can even add some, some fuzz, furry kind of look. Let's go back up. We can add some horns. Now you might remember this from when we drew the dragon, that we establish where the horns are by creating some roots. So let's assume that the horn would be here. And the other horn we wouldn't see, would we? It would be on the other side. So if that's where the horn starts, then we can create almost like a mound, or where the skin folds a little bit, right? And that gives that depth. Now what kind of horn should we create? What kind of thoughts do you have? We could create a funny looking, almost rabbit-like horn. Now this doesn't look very roundish. So here's a trick. How do we make this horn look round? And now that's almost a question for you. I bet you know the answer, and I'll give you some clues. Think of the elephant's trunk from when we drew the elephant a long time ago. Think about the dragon's tail. What did we do to the dragon's tail? What can we do to make this look round? Well, the key word was contour lines. So even though it doesn't look roundish now, we're going to add these contour lines that will give it that feel that it is three-dimensional and round. And right here at this section, we need to have the lines go in a different direction. Again, similar to the elephant's legs, where the knees were. So have a look at how I've structured these lines. And again, hopefully this will make it appear like it's round. And you can even add some bumps and grooves because the horn doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe the character has been in had some rough fights, or just uses the horn to to get food or something. The horn is being bashed around a bit, so it doesn't have to be in perfect condition. Okay, so there's one of the horns. Now the other horn, let's add some hair here. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Look at that. Adding some hair on the character. We could add a horn on the other side. Now I'm going to just quickly draw in yellow where that other horn would probably be. The other horn would realistically be somewhere over, maybe over there somewhere on the other side. That's tough to say. But we're going to put in the horn for this character. And let me just get this a little bit darker. What color did I have before? I had like a brownish color, didn't I? So let's maybe have it coming out more like that. Does that look good? So you need to kind of put your eyes, adjust your eyes. Does that make sense? Does it need to be lower? Do we need to lower this? Does it need to go down past the other horn? And we want it to look somewhat similar, but it's going away from us, right? We want it to be three-dimensional. So this horn, this second horn that I'm drawing, is going away from us. So we can't have it parallel to the first horn that we drew. So that's important that we think about how this horn's going to look. Very three-dimensional kind of idea here. In fact, I'm actually rethinking how this part will look. Should it be going, should it be going, let me try to undo that, this way? Does that make sense? That looks like it could be right. So you need to almost judge how it might look. So there we go. It's going away from us. So I have a couple minutes. What can we add to this character to make it even cuter or more interesting? I love the hair that we've put in. Do we do a nose? I don't think a nose would work. But what we can add is we can certainly put in some lines and some eyebrows. What would eyebrows look like? Does the character look like it needs to have eyebrows? Does that work? Maybe we could have little nostrils where the nose might go. Does that work, perhaps? What I always like to do is, just like the dragon, is the little circles. Almost like little spots. By adding spots, it almost ages the character. But that's okay. Do you know what else we can do? So I'm going to do a few more spots here. And if you remember the spots, notice that along the edge here, they're very narrow looking, right? Because it's along the edge, it's going away from us. And as I move more to the center of the character, they become more circular. So we've got narrow, oval, circle, right? So those are some things to consider. Of course, we have fur. So we got to think about, if there's fur, we can't have a lot of those spots unless they're furry spots. Like, are they going to be furry spots? Do we kind of make them a bit rougher? I was thinking about the chin. Do we want the chin to be furry? Do we want the character to have a furry chin? So you can get your pencil and you can add just, not too much, but add a little bit of fur down by where the chin would go. Right? So those are some little cute things to think about. And of course, you might want to add extra things to your character. You might want to, create a longer tail. You might want to put a nose on the character. Totally up to you. You can decide. I might have some little lines that come out. I might make this the lip. I might add some detail to the lip. So again, using those contour lines, how can I make the lip look? In fact, if this is the lip, shouldn't there be a shadow underneath, right? So what we can do is, if you can, with your pencil, let's work on that lip. And you guys can decide if you like this or not. I'm going to shade this. Whoops, I don't want to go too much with it. Get those confident lines in there. Does that lip work? It doesn't really, does it? I feel like I want to get rid of some of the lip. So watch what I'm doing here. I'm going to erase some of it because I feel as though it takes over the face. I don't want the lip to be taking over the face too much. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So I'm going to kind of get rid of some of the lip, because maybe the fur on the character has taken over that. So we're going to end it here. We've done quite a lot with this picture. The picture looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty cute. And it's certainly got some character to it. It's not necessarily scary, but certainly it could grow up to be something scary. Anyway, I'll leave it with you. I can't wait to see your picture, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.